My name is Joanne Karaoke, Senior Associate in Customer Service at CDSC. We are glad you could join us for this informative session. We are ready to assist you in this journey about investing in the capital market. Welcome and thank you.
Greetings, everyone, from wherever you are. It's a great pleasure to be here. Pete and Robert and Joanne as well. It's great to have you on this session. So my name is Mumo Mutisia. I'm the General Manager, Strategy, Commercial and Technology at the CDSC. And it's my pleasure to welcome us once again to this session. I think in very brief terms, we want to listen and hear your view of the market and CDSC services from where you are. Of course, as Pete and Robert have mentioned, of course, is sharing a few tips on how you can invest in the stock market in Kenya. And over and above that, hopefully we can build some long-term relationships that will help you in your journey of wealth building. So without taking too much time, I think my responsibility today, apart from welcoming us, is just to cover in brief what CDSC is about. So we are the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation Limited, a private company regulated by the CMA. Our shareholders are institutional players in the capital markets in Kenya and the East African region. And what we exist to do is to make sure that your assets are safe. CDSC was established in the year 2004, and in one word, we were built and formed to bring trust in the market. So when you're buying and selling, when you open a CDS account, when an issuer lists their securities, we are the entity sitting in the middle, just to make sure everyone knows that there's somebody making sure that everything is stored in the right place, everything is safe. When you buy and sell, we are the ones who do the settlement and make sure that you get your money or you get your shares, depending on which side of the transaction you're at or on. And in brief, the kind of services we offer around at the end of 2020 and coming into 2023, though the numbers may have changed a bit, we are serving about 1.6 million investors holding accounts in the Kenyan capital markets. On average, in a year, in terms of the settlement side of things, we do about 156 billion trades settled annually. And the value of assets held by investors here is around 2.7 trillion. So that's the mandate of the CDSC in a nutshell. It's something that we take great pride in, and we hope today some of the things we can get through is hear from your side what we can do better, even as you get some tips on how to access the market. We really want to hear from your side the experience, some of the things you want CDSC and the market to change, because we don't work in isolation. We work very closely with central depository agents or brokers as the more common term. And the NSE where trading happens, and CMA, who is our regulator. So any feedback you have for us or any of those entities in that value chain, we'll be glad to receive it and take it back home. And hopefully in the next few months, we can have other sessions and you'll have seen some of the changes that you want to see implemented. So I think I'll get out of the way and let the experts take over. So with that, karibuni sana from wherever you are. We look forward to an amazing session today. Thank you.
Welcome once again as we go through this informative session, investing in the Kenyan capital markets. Just as my colleague Mumo has mentioned, the CDSC is a limited liability company licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority to provide automated clearing, delivery, and settlement services for transactions carried out at the Nairobi Securities Exchange or the NSE, as well as holding of listed and unlisted securities, including other documents of title on behalf of investors. Our vision is to become the solution provider of choice for depository and settlement services. Our mission is to facilitate marketplaces that are secure, transparent, and efficient. Our core values are passion, agility, simplicity, innovation, and trust. Okay. As mentioned by my colleague again, Mumo, CDSC is synonymous to trust. You can trust us to securely and efficiently hold your assets and make your investment experience pleasurable. We manage over 1.6 million investor accounts holding securities worth almost 2.7 trillion in value and settling transactions worth over 150 billion annually. Who are the key market players in the Capital Markets Authority? We will start with the CMA. This is an independent public agency with the prime responsibility of supervising, licensing, and monitoring the activities of the capital market intermediaries, including the Nairobi Securities Exchange or the NSE, as well as stockbrokers and investment banks. Secondly, we have the NSE or the Nairobi Securities Exchange that provides a marketplace for companies to avail their shares for trading. Then at CDSC, we offer secure and efficient depository and settlement facilities for all these listed shares. Then we have the central depository agents or the stockbrokers or custodians, and these are the authorized institutions who can open CDS accounts and buy or sell securities on behalf of investors. Then we also have registrars who are mainly responsible for AGM management and dividend payments. Then we have you, who is the most important party, the investor, whom we all exist to serve. Then we have various services we offer at CDSC. We will start with account opening and maintenance. We facilitate account opening, CDS account opening. For these investors, you're required to complete CDS1 forms, which are available in the CDSC website, or you can engage the authorized central depository agents of your choice. They can provide you with the forms to fill in, provide your details, attach supporting documents to assist in CDS account opening. Then we also, apart from account opening, the CDS1 form is also used when you want to update your details. For example, postal address, email address, dividend disposal mode. You will fill in that form also, provide your supporting documents, and submit them to your broker for further processing. They will initiate the either account opening or updating of details in your accounts and submit the request to CDSC for processing. Secondly, we have the depository and registry services. Here we ensure safe custody of your data. Then we also engage the share registrars. On a monthly basis, we ensure we reconcile with them just to make sure that the investor records we have on our end correspond with the records that they have on their end. We also prepare the entitlement files for processing and share them with the share registrars so that they're able to process your dividend payments. Then we also provide CDS account statements on a monthly basis for the active investors. So for example, if you had transactions, say for the month of September, by end of the month, you should be able to get a statement showing the transactions that you have had for that month. Then, in addition to that, then thirdly, we have the clearing and settlement of shares and corporate bonds. At CDSC, we facilitate settlement of funds in the respective CDS accounts. So for example, if you place a sale order, by the third day after the transaction has gone through successfully, the shares move from your CDS account to the buyer's CDS account and vice versa. Then we also handle settlement of funds, and we liaise with the Central Bank of Kenya for the settlement of funds. We also have share transfers. For this, as an investor, you're allowed to register your CDS account with as many brokers as you would want. Then, when it gets to a time you want to consolidate all your shares to one broker, it is possible. You are required to complete a CDS 4A, 4B form to move your shares from your current broker to the new broker. Then we also facilitate private transfer of shares for example, deceased cases, as well as gift transfers. And note, for the gift transfers, it has to be to a close relation, a spouse, a sibling, a parent, so that you can provide us with the supporting documents to show the relation. Then we also have securities pledging and releases. For this case scenario, you will know that the shares that you hold or the securities that you hold can be used as collateral to obtain a loan facility. So we have authorized banks we have authorized banks and other financial institutions who you can liaise with to obtain loans depending on the value of your shares. You are required to pledge your shares, you're required to complete a CDS 5 form together with your broker and the financier. They initiate that process the broker will initiate that process and submit the request to CDSC. Once you're done with you've cleared the loan facility, you are required to fill in a CDS 6 form, which should also be completed by the broker, the investor, and the financier. Then the request is submitted to CDSC and the shares are released. Then you can continue trading with them. We also have shares immobilization. This is for those of us who still hold on to the share certificates. Or if you know someone who has share certificates, it will be good to ensure that that you have a CDS account. Ensure that you have a CDS account so that you initiate the process of depositing the shares into your CDS account. When the shares are in a CDS account, it is possible for you now to trade with them as compared to when they're in certificate form. Then also, when the shares are also in the CDS account, you can be able to lend your shares instead of the shares staying idle in your CDS account, and you get a fee for that, for lending your shares. Which brings me to the next point for securities lending and borrowing, which is a product that instead of having your shares sitting in your CDS account, you can engage your broker to initiate lending on the shares. You are required to fill in an agreement which will show the period, the time, for how long you want to lend out. And when the time matures, you should be able to get back your securities. And if there were any dividends paid out when you had lent out your shares, the borrower should be able to also pay you the dividends or the corporate actions that you that they got when they had the shares. Then what is the motivation for you to invest? Number one, saving. This will encourage you to put your savings. You set aside some funds for future goals, like buying yourself a house, a car, or funding major projects that you're planning to handle. Number two, wealth creation. So when you buy shares and the price goes up, the value of the shares that you have will increase. And also you can also reinvest in the dividends that you normally get and buy more shares. Over a long period of time, you will build a good portfolio. You just by starting small, and after a long time, you will note that the portfolio will grow. Then it's also, thirdly, it's a source of income. For dividends, for shares that you hold, you can get dividends. Even for bonds, they pay the interest,
John,
that they.
John,
Sorry? Yes?
I'm getting comments that your slide is not moving. So let me try to share it from my side. I think you are still talking about
Okay,
how the motivation for investors to invest in the stock
correct.
market. So you can be talking about
Yes.
that, and then I'll reshare it on my end, and hopefully we should be able
Mm-hmm.
to move.
Okay, all right. So reasons for investing, number one, saving. This will enable you to put some savings for future goals, for projects that you can, big projects that will require funds. It's a good way to save. Then we have wealth creation. When you buy securities today and with time the price increases, then it means the value of the shares that you hold also increases. So that means the value of your shares is increasing as the price of the shares you hold increases. You can also, the dividends that you get, sorry?
Just
The
confirm,
dividends that you, yeah?
John. Just confirm that, or
Yes,
anybody or the other panelists can just confirm that you can see what I'm sharing, so that the audience also follows us.
yes, I can see.
Can see it
Uh,
as well.
so which slide are you on? Am I on? Are we on digital solutions or why you should invest? Just confirm so that I can help Joanne with the navigation.
We are key market players.
Oh, okay. I think we have a challenge with how it's flowing. So just confirm for me if we are moving.
Yeah, motivation. What's in it for you?
Okay. You can carry on. Sorry.
Thank you. Then on wealth creation also, remember the shares that you buy or the securities that you buy, the dividends that you get, you can reinvest. And with that, you will grow your portfolio slowly by slowly. Then thirdly, we have income. For the securities, there are dividends that are normally paid out. So that will be an extra source of income. And for the bonds, they have the interest payments. Mhm. And go to the next one, Steve.
I think there is a lag, so we can just talk about the digital solutions as it loads.
All right. Okay. For you to be able to monitor your investments, we have the CDSC chatbot or the Rhino app, which is available in the Google Play Store. You can download it and register to be able to check on your portfolio, your account details, get mini statement. Then secondly, we also have the Dosika app, which is available in the App Store or the Google Play Store. With that application, you can also be able to register, monitor, and even initiate transactions, purchases or sales, as long as your broker is registered in the application. Then we will go to account opening, CDS account opening, so that we can provide more details about how to go about it and the supporting documents that are required. For CDS account opening, first, you are required to identify an authorized central depository agent of your choice. We have a list of the authorized central depository agents in the CDSC website, or you can send an email to helpdesk@cdsckenya.com. We will provide you with the list of the authorized CDAs. Once you identify the agent of your choice, you will get in touch with them, fill in the CDS account opening form, the CDS1, and provide the supporting documents. As an individual investor, you are required to provide your identification document, 2 passport size photos, and the KRA PIN for individual investors. Then the broker will check on the details provided, supporting documents provided, initiate account opening, and submit the request to CDSC for processing. Then we have the investors. Investors can also register. Corporate investors can also register CDS accounts. And for that, the requirements are for the corporate or institutional investors, they are also required to fill in a CDS1 form, provide the company's CR12, certificate of incorporation or registration, KRA PIN of the entities and the directors, ID and passport photos of the directors, board resolutions, and minutes. Then it's also possible for the minor or junior account to guardian or a parent can open the accounts for the minors or the juniors. What is required is a duly filled in CDS1 form, the birth certificate for the minor or the passport, the parents or the guardian's ID or passport, KRA PIN, and 2 passport size photos. So you'll remember that I had mentioned earlier that when you open a CDS account, it's possible also to update details. So the details that can be amended are the dividend disposal preference, email address, postal address, phone number, signatories, or the tax status. So for that, you will be required to fill in a CDS1 form again. Then we will go to the frequently asked questions. For example, how to update details in your CDS account. So I've mentioned the details that we can amend, and you are required to fill in the CDS1 form through your broker. Then in case you invested a while back and you can't remember who your broker is or your CDS account details, kindly send an email, reach out to us, or you can call or send an email to helpdesk@cdsckenya.com for guidance. Provide your details, your name, identification, then we'll be able to trace your account and provide you with their broker details. And then you can proceed to engage them for transactions. Then where to get information about saving and investment opportunities. You can, at CDSC, we will not advise. We don't advise investors directly on which shares to buy. So you're required to either get the information from the broker. They have the wealth managers or relationship managers who you can engage with for guidance. Some also have, they prepare analysis for investors to go through. Then, is it possible to change as a stockbroker? Yes, it is possible. In case you want to move from one broker to another, you will be required to fill in a CDS 4A, 4B form. Start the process from your current broker, and the documents are then submitted to the receiving broker, who initiates and then submit the request to CDSC for final approval, and the shares move if all the documents are in order. Then others may ask, why are they no longer receiving statements? So currently we issue statements to active investors. So for the month of, say you have transactions within this month, in September, by end of the month, you should be able to get a CDSC statement. Apart from that, you can reach out to us and request for your statement. We will be glad to share that with you. You can also access your statements from the Rhino app or the Dosika app. You will be able to, where you can be able to monitor your investments. Then others may ask, who are the approved stockbrokers? These are the authorized central depository agents, and we have a list in our website, www.cdsckenya.com, and you can also reach out to us on email. We'll provide you with the list of the authorized central depository agents. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you all for listening, and we are here to assist you in this investment journey. Feel free to reach out to us for any more assistance, clarifications, or any challenges you're facing. We will be glad to assist. Now, for private transfers, you can first contact CDSC to confirm if the deceased had a CDS account, because at CDSC, we can only view the shares that are in CDS accounts. So, for example, you can provide the name, get in touch with CDSC, provide the details of the deceased, that is the name and their ID number or passport number. So when we confirm that the person had shares in a CDS account, we will request you to provide us with the death certificate, the letter from the chief or from court or from county commissioner, just to show that this person who's following up on the deceased shares is either an administrator or beneficiary. Then from there, we will issue the CDSC statement showing the details, the CDS account details of the deceased, the broker, and the shares that they held. Then from there, the beneficiary is supposed to engage the broker where the deceased had their shares, and then now initiate transfer. They are required to fill in the CDS7 forms. And for the case where the deceased did not have shares in the CDS account, they will be required to either have the share certificates and fill in the CDS2 forms together with the CDS7, or they will be required to get an indemnity. If they don't have the share certificates for the deceased, they will refer them to the respective share registrars to get indemnities. And then now the beneficiary will now fill in both the CDS 2 and 7 for the private transfer. Yes, then now for the second case scenario, where someone had shares under, for example, Nyaga or Ngenye or discount securities. So for those who had shares with those brokers, they will be required to register their CDS accounts with any other authorized central depository agent of their choice. And then from there, they will initiate transfer of their shares from either Ngenye or Nyaga to now the active broker. The request is then forwarded. They will be required to fill in a CDS 4A, 4B form and attach the supporting documents. Then from there, the request is submitted to CDSC by the receiving broker. And we will, if the documents are in order, we will process the transfer.